should work now. Cool. This. There we go. Cool. Sweet. Got that set. And yeah, we're here. Come on, computer. Work with me here. All right, there we go. Cool. So, all right, we got the computer going. We got the phone going. Sweet. So, for right now, as the stream is just starting, we'll wait for more and more people to join on in, and then we'll get going. See what we can help with. There's probably a lot of tennis questions going into the week, so figured I might as well jump on and answer any questions that anyone may have, just to see if there's anything I can help with tonight. Cool. So we'll wait for some people to jump on in and start asking questions, and we'll go from there. For anyone who is just joining, welcome to the stream. Thank you for taking the time to be here on a Sunday. I do appreciate it. I know, at least for where I am, it is starting to get late for some people, so thank you for being here. It is appreciated. If you have any questions about tennis gear or any tennis gear related items, please drop them in the chat. Yarpin, you trying to have me be a pirate real quick? Arg. Was that your Halloween costume, Arpin? Were you Yarpin? Were you a pirate? What's up? I mean, I was at a Halloween party last night where a guy was a pirate. Yeah, he had a pretty good costume. Both of them did. Both of the pirates were pretty good. But no, for anyone just jumping in, if you have any tennis gear, okay. Senna, hello. AJ, that's cool. Yeah. If anyone's, let's see what we got. Cool. Thanks. Yeah. If anyone's got any tennis gear related questions, that is the premise of tonight's stream. If you got any questions, please ask away. I'm here to help as much as I can, and we will go from there. If not, we can also hang around, talk about how the weekend was, what everyone's got going for the week coming up, and just see what's going on. I'm here to help if I can, and we shall go from there. Ugh. Oh no, my water bottle. But yeah, how was it? How was everyone's weekend or week? I had just left work today, and my family decided that they wanted to take family photos today, so this was the attire that we were all in, at least for the guys. But yeah, Yarpin, what are you talking about? Because I have no idea about Black Friday sales anywhere. That I would assume there's probably going to be some, but I have not heard of any or what they might be. Just at all. Um, CMA, best men's cologne. I am not the guy. I am not the guy to ask that. So that I could not tell you the best men's cologne. I think that I'd say it's probably more subjective than anything. But I also have not dove deep into cologne or anything like that, so I can't really help you there. Yarpin, uh, man, no clue. I don't know why anyone would be taking a personal hygiene advice from me, but this is supposed to be about tennis people. I don't know where all this is. I don't know where all this is going, but why does my computer keep popping up with this thing? But I don't know. I don't know of any Black Friday deals or anything. That's I would assume probably too far away for any store to know, or if any store does know, they aren't telling me. So I just kind of go with it, and then when Black Friday rolls around, that's what I just find out whatever sales are going on then. 200, don't couldn't tell you. Never wore lipstick, so really couldn't tell you anything about that. Yarpin deodorant. I Again, I don't know why you guys want to know about deodorant from me. That's not necessarily my area of expertise, but I have used Old Spice before. It's worked for me. That's about it. Oh, let's see. Anthony, what do I do for a job? I work at a tennis store. And so I'll usually either be helping recommend people rackets, strings, shoes, or I'll be majorly right now I'm just stringing in terms of just stringing the tennis rackets that come to the store that I work at, both online and anyone that just comes in there and wants to get their rackets restrung. But that's my job. And then I do YouTube here as fun hobby and all that, just cuz it's all fun. And I get to talk to you guys about tennis and everything, so it's a cool time. Ernest, good evening, sir. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Uh, Yarpin, what do you mean by the first 30 minutes? I don't know what that means. Let's see. Daniel, lover of X1 biphase here, but it's a bit too powerful. Should I cross it with IsoSpeed Cream or Velocity MLT or something else? I would say, Daniel, if anything, before I can say if I think hybriding it would be a good option, Daniel, tell me the tension and the racket you're using it in, and then that way that can kind of give me a better idea of better idea of what to do. Just because you may be able to fix everything, or you may just be able to control the X1 biphase a little bit more, just based off of tightening your tension by a little bit, but it would just depend on where you're at and what you're already using. So if you could let me know that, I could answer you a little bit better, bro. Let's see. Christ, thank you. Yarpin, come on, don't give up on us. Yarpin, I don't know what you're talking about. You said first 30 minutes and then you said don't give up on us. I haven't given up on anybody yet, sir. I'm just here. I'm here to help out, bro. who is this? I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Hopefully I don't. But if I do, I'm sorry. But Yasha, my sunglasses look perfect on you. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. These actually are blue light blue light blockers just because it is a little bit later here for me as I'm doing the stream. It's about what time is it? It's about 9:05. So I'm probably going I'm probably going to head to bed soon, and these have helped me get better sleep just so that way if I have to wake up early like I do tomorrow for work, then it just makes it a little bit easier on me. And it's also less strain on my eyes, which is very helpful overall. But thank you for the compliment. I do appreciate it. Daniel, you're using the X1 biphase Clash V3 Pro at 54 pounds. If you're using X1 biphase and Clash V3 Pro at 54 pounds, then you could hybrid it, but with a polyester to help give you that little bit more control, Daniel, I would probably you could try ISO Speed Cream. I've heard that one is pretty soft. I haven't played with that string personally myself, so I can't speak too much of that, but you could probably also just tighten up the biphase in your Clash 100 Pro V3 by about 2 pounds, so go to like 56. You could also do that to rein in some of the power of the biphase, and so that may be something to try first, just because you know you like biphase, and then if you have say another second racket, then you could try the hybrid in there. But I would probably do one or the other at a time, just so that way you still have one racket with your normal setup that you're used to, and then you're only testing one thing at a time, Daniel. But that's probably the way I would start. And if you don't want to use ISO speed, got you, bro. If you don't want to use ISO speed, I really like for a hybrid, you could go something like Yonex Polytour Pro if you really wanted to keep around polyester in there with biphase because it's a round multi-filament. Well, but I think if you use any polyester, as whether it be round or shaped, you're going to get more control. It just depends on how much more you actually want to go with. So those are probably the two paths. Yeah, I would choose for you, Daniel, and then whichever one you feel works best for you at the time, just go with either one of those and just experiment to see what you like more. And you're welcome for the answer, man. Let's see. Where to go? Yarvin, I'm talking like I don't want to give us any answers. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I don't know anything about Black Friday deals. I'm not told anything. I'm just stringing away. Like, I don't know anything about sales. I don't know anything about what is coming in terms of like major discounts or anything. They don't tell me that. They just have me string and help recommend stuff. So, if you got a gear specific question like what you're using, I can probably answer that and give some advice. But sale wise for any place, I got nothing, man. That's just how it is. Let's see, Ernest. By the way, any thoughts on the Babolat SFX4? I know the shoe has a wider toe box. Yes, the Babolat SFX4 it is one of the wider fitting shoes without going to an actual wide size. Usually, Ernest, I would kind of need to know what you're wanting. Are you just wanting my thoughts on it? Because I've wore the shoe before. I've played in it for a little bit, and it was a little bit weird, especially if you don't need a wide fit. It is going to be a little bit different, but it's just it if you don't need a wide fit, you're gonna have a lot of room in the shoe, so your foot's probably gonna feel like it's swimming. But it is going to be a very cushioned shoe. Okay, what's my thoughts on it? Okay. So kind of what I was saying, if you need to go to a wide width, always try a wide width first. But if you're kind of like that in between, you just want a little bit of extra space inside your shoe and you want it to be more comfortable, then I think that's where the Babolat SFX4 does well. I would say if you're going to be playing at a highly competitive level, or just like more of a more intermediate to advanced level of play, and you're playing multiple times a week, I think that you would be better off to find a different shoe from than the SFX4, unless you specifically need the width. Because with the SFX, whether it be the 1, 2, 3, or 4, Vert I've always kind of seen that as a rival to the K-Swiss Hypercourt Express 1 and 2, and those have always been the widest fitting shoes without going to an actual wide size from my experience. So if you want the extra cushion and you want the shoe to be more of a mesh fit, then that's where I think the SFX comes in. The K-Swiss Hypercourt Express 2, that's going to be a little bit more of a plastic feel, because the plastic on the top, there's plastic on the top of the shoe instead of mesh like the SFX, but it is still going to be more of a wider fit. And so that's where the SFX4 can give you the extra support in the cushion, but I think it's not as fit to be a high level playing shoe as, say, like the K-Swiss Hypercourt Express is. Now, I know you didn't ask about the K-Swiss Hypercourt Express, Ernest, but that's the easiest comparison that I usually have to the SFX4, just off the top of my head. Let's see. Daniel, thanks for the answer, bro to dog. Always, sir. Nick, do I listen to the band Ice? No, I do not. I've never heard of the band. Zeros, big from Kingston. That's cool. Thank you for joining, sir. I appreciate it. Let's see. Go. You go wild for dark-haired man. I mean, I am a brunette, but I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know about how dark it is. I just know I'm a brunette. It's nowhere near uh it's nowhere near as dark as some other people's. Garvin, what did you mean you thought I would be blonde? I would assume if you're here, you've probably seen at least some of my videos. I've only been blonde once in my life, and I am not going back to it. I had like this just skunk line of blonde in my hair when I was in middle school, because for some reason I thought it would be cool, but mainly it was because I made $5 from doing it, because like my dad bet me, he's like, you won't dye your hair. And I was like, I'll dye my hair. He's like, $5 says you won't dye your hair. I was like, done. So I dyed like a skunk line of blonde throughout the front of my head. It was just bleached essentially. And then I went to school, but he did give me the $5. And luckily I did it either before or after school picture day. So there's no pictures of it in school yearbooks or anything. So it almost never sees the light of day ever again, except for the one picture I have on my phone of it. Let's see. Guzzy, what's up? What about Wave Exceed Tour 6 from Mizuno? Wave Exceed Tour 6 is cool. I really like those for the fact that they are one of the lightest weight shoes that actually have an outsole warranty. You really don't see too many of those, so a lot of people that want that lighter weight feel, especially if they're coming from a shoe like the Asics Solution Speed FFs, or the or something like the Babolat Jet Mach 3s. the Mizuno does really well for people, and because it comes up a little bit higher in the ankle, it kind of locks you in. It kind of locks your ankle into place a little bit more. So that's where I think the Wave Exceed Tour 6 can do really well for people, especially if they want that faster, easier to move around in shoe compared to say maybe the Wave Enforce tours. Those ones a little bit heavier, a little bit more cushion to them, but it's a little bit harder for them to move around. It's a little bit harder for you to move around it because you have to move a lot more of the shoe to do it. But the Wave Exceed Tour 6 is typically done very well for quite a lot of people as long as they fit you correctly. And if you know you're going to break through the outsole within 6 months, might as well get a warranty pair than not. That's just what I've seen work well for people overall. I also have one friend that really loves them to slide in. Like, he will not stop sliding on court. It's his favorite thing to do, and he does in the Mizunos. He's just like, I love him for it. And I was like, all right, buddy, have fun sliding. Let's see. Cotton, what is up? Hello, hi, Brody. Good morning from Indonesia. What's up, man? Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. What time is it? What time is it in Indonesia if it's morning? Let me know, Cotton. Deep. What's up, man? Tesnerd said Wilson's coming out with a new spin racket in 2026 in his new video. Maybe it's a revised / evolved Shift. You loved the Shift V1. So, also, favorite strings right now. Okay. So, Deep, my guess would be that, they may try and redo the Shift just because that is the area that Wilson is lacking in the most, is just a high level spin racket. You don't really see Wilson with a spin racket on the Pro Tour at all. Technically, their spin rackets are the Shift and then also the Burn if you want to throw that in there, but because it's still around, but it's not as popular anymore. So with that, I don't know if they're revamping the Shift. My guess, just from also seeing a Tennis Nerd video, that kind of, or it was either Tennis Nerd or maybe even Tencom, but I saw a video somewhere online that they were examining the beam of the actual like blacked out spec that Karen Kachanov was using because they think that's who has been playing with it the most. They were looking at it and they said it looked almost like the current Babolat Pure Aero 98 beam, or just like a Babolat beam in general, a Babolat Pure Aero beam or a Diadem Axis beam in general. So they may revamp it. My guess would be that they're probably going to try and move away from the Shift line just because since it didn't do too well overall, just in general, it is probably going to move away from that name so that way people can have like a fresh clean slate with a spin racket, and then Wilson can say, oh, this is the spin racket. The Shift was a little bit different. We tried it, we decided to move towards this thing, and then kind of go from there. That's what I would assume they're going to do if they are going to release a new spin racket, as Tennis Nerd mentioned. And then also favorite strings right now. Favorite strings right now. For I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily know if I have a favorite. I would say for a round polyester, my favorite one is probably Technofiber Ice Code. I've just had great success with using that myself, as well as in the rackets of my friends and other people that I've had try it in their rackets. They've had great success with it actually working for them. So I'd say that one is probably one of my favorites just for a round poly. And then for a shaped polyester, I personally tend to prefer Lynx Tour. I like Mach 10 from Solinco. especially just because I don't use as much spin, so I liked the extra power I was getting from it. So those that string was very nice for to play for me. Definitely not for everyone, especially if you want the string to give you a lot more spin. Then Mach 10 is probably not the one. It's going to focus a little bit more on power and comfort, which you usually don't see out of a polyester. But because it still has sides, it's going to help give you the spin. So that's where I'd say like I enjoyed Mach 10, but I could see why it's not necessarily for everyone. But those are probably three I like right now in terms of polyester. Multi-filaments, Wilson NXT is good. Head Velocity is good for a little bit less expensive price. And Solinco Vanquish does good. As well as Technofiber. Technofiber has a lot of good multi-filaments as well. That's I would I would say they're probably the ones that have the most options of multi-filaments that I'd see are used the most, being Technofiber, and then probably like Wilson is second. Just with NXT and Sensation, those two are pretty common, just in general. Let's see. Where to go? Hold on. Chicks? I am not a dad. No, I am completely single. No kids. I am not a father. I may look like one right now just based off of the pullover and the glasses, but no, I am not a dad. And if I am, something is wrong, and I don't understand how in the world that happened. Let's see. Acid, do I like Dino Nuggets? I would have to say I probably do. I couldn't tell you the last time I had one, but if I remember correctly, when I did have one, they were pretty cool. So, I would say probably. Blackout, yo, this dude looks cool. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Cotton. Recently I bought the T-Fight 300 2025 string with Torbite soft 50 pounds. Every time I shank any ball, I feel tingle from my base palm to outer elbow. Is it tennis elbow? Any suggestions for new strings? I Cotton, if you just bought it and you have not had any issue, have you used Torbite soft before in any other racket? Because if you have and you've never felt the sensation, then it might just be Torbite soft isn't working for you specifically. That may be the problem. Especially if the racket is brand new, then I would hope it's not cracked or anything, because that would not be good. But if you have used Torbite soft before and it's worked in other rackets and and you didn't have any issues or feel anything like that, then in terms of string wise, if you want to stay with polyester, I would probably switch to a round polyester instead of Torbite soft, because it Torbite soft still does have edges to it. So you could do something like Polytor Pro is a very soft round polyester, and it's one of Yonex round polyesters that probably plays the best just on its own. And so I would probably start around there. Or if you just want to try a basic round polyester and you don't want to spend too much money into it, there is Tourna Big Hitter Silver, not Big Hitter Silver 7, that's different, but normal Tourna Big Hitter Silver. It's usually at least here in the US, it's about $7 a pack, or $7 USD. So you'd have to figure out the conversion there, but I would probably say just start there just to try and see if a round polyester works. If Torbite soft doesn't work, you may have commented again since I've been talking, and I may just not have seen it because I was trying to think about what to say. So if I see your comment again, I'll come back to it, and then we can talk more. And then currently it is Monday 9:17 a.m. here. Okay, so you're about 12 hours ahead of me, Cotton. That's crazy. Yeah, you're in a completely different day than I am. I'm still in the past. All right. Deep, that makes sense. Maybe implement a bit of what the shift had, but in a shiny new package. I could see that. That may be what they're doing, Deep. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure. Whoa, what happened to my chat? All right. What am I talking? What am I talking about? I'm talking about tennis. We're talking about tennis gear. That's what we're talking about. Let's see. Ernest, I know the price of the shift has gone down a bit. Yeah, the shift has gone down a little. It's not gone down a lot, but that's because I think Wilson still has some hope for it that it's still going to do well, or maybe they're trying to get ready for a big sale coming up soon. I don't know. The shift's just a weird racket at times for a lot of people to get into, just because from when I played with it and I play tested it, it was weird in the sense that if you had a more semi-western to western forehand, it worked out great and usually felt good to actually hit with. But as soon as you try to like flatten the ball out, or if you have a predominantly eastern forehand or more like that, it to me it felt stiffer than a pure drive. And since it didn't have as much dampening technology in it as I would have liked, it just was a little bit hard on my arm. It didn't cause me tennis elbow. It was just a weird feeling, so I could see why it wouldn't work for as many people. So it's just something for people to try, but I will be curious if they do release a new one. Let's see. Deep love the color on Mach 10 for sure. The Mach 10 the Mach 10 color is sick. Like it really is. That I really really like the blue of it, and I also really like the blue grommet that Solinko made for the blackout and the whiteout that matches the color. Those look awesome. uh McKinney, I don't I don't know how to say it. My uncle's the Prince of Dubai. Cool uncle you got. Ice Code sounds fun to try. Yeah. Ice Code's fun. At least it was for me. And I've gotten three other guys to switch essentially to Ice Code from what they were using before. It because it worked well for them. One of them was using an 18 by 20. Two of them were using 16 by 19s. One was a Headspeed Pro. One was head speed MPs, and the other one was a Blade 98 16 by 19. So it can work out in a lot of rackets. You just have to fine tune and adjust to your game specifically. But I really do like Ice Code. It just is a very well rounded polyester for doing almost anything you want. But if you're trying to focus on something specific, then Ice Code can get outshined by something else like that actually has sides to it to give you the spin or anything else like that. Newton stays single. Wow. We'll see about that, Newton. We'll see. Uh Neha, no, I cannot. No idea. No idea how I would do that. Never have. Let's see. I am so okay. How old am I? I just recently turned 24. So, yeah, birthday was relatively recently. I did actually do a stream on my birthday, which was cool for everyone that was able to come out, and we had a great time. But yeah, Let's see. Hold on. Come on, chat. My computer keeps being weird. Russian gave me through. Ah, why? Where did it go? There we go. Okay. Melissa, he is so. Yes. Yes, I am. I have not been out in the sun very much, so I am probably looking as pale as a ghost right now. You said vampire. I personally call myself Casper the Ghost every so often just because I am that pale. Me and the sun, we have not seen each other in a while. It's been a minute. Let's see, black. Can I have a Bugatti? I just don't know what that was, but that's not staying here. Toasted, thank you. I appreciate the comment. Neha, I don't know what the fascination is with flipping my eyelids, but no, I cannot. I've never tried it, don't know what to do. Couldn't tell you. Ernest, so the Wilson Blade 98S 18 by 16 be available in tennis warehouse, but I don't see other tennis retailers like Express or Midwest carrying at the moment. Ernest, I saw that video when they released it about the 18 by 16. I saw that they brought that back, and I was so confused because I thought this was just finally done and over with. They hadn't brought out the 18 by 16 in years. I think I got one of the last ones being the version 6 with the countervail in it. And then I saw that video that they brought it back, and I was like, why did they do this? I think it might be, excuse me, I think it might be a Tennis Warehouse exclusive racket. And so that's why you may not see other retailers with it. But the fact that they brought it out, I was just absolutely dumbfounded by. I could not believe that when I saw it. And I was talking with one of my friends today about it, and he was just like, dude, what do you think about this? I was like, that's crazy that they did that. If they do bring it back and they keep it with the new blades that are supposed to come out just following Wilson's release cycle next year, that's going to be crazy. The one bad thing about those is that they just break string constantly. So if you really do break strings a lot in your current racket, you're just gonna tear through them even more in that 98S. But you're gonna get a lot more spin. You're gonna get a lot more power out of it. So there is a trade off. But I was so shocked and surprised when I saw that come out. I was like, "There's no way they did it," but they did. It's crazy. Tony, what's up? Let's see. You ordered some strings that I recommended, but have not tried them yet. I recommended Ice Code to you, Tony. I remember that because you said there was a deal with them when you were going to buy them. So I was like, okay, okay. Again, I need a poly with pop. I have some power, but I'm tired of working so hard. I have the Wilson Pro Staff V14. I bought several strings. All right. Well, Tony, I remember we were having this conversation. So I can't wait for you to try them. You have to let me know when you do, and then as you play with it, as you try it, because you bought the 17 gauges in them in the ice code. I remember you telling me that. As you play with them, let me know what you think, and then we can also go back and forth throughout the chats just to see and kind of go from there. Toast. Thank you. Deep the semi western gang in terms of the forehand. Nice. Lax. I'm not I don't need to get I'm not getting trolled right now. I don't need to say that. Uh Kenneth, I believe in you, sir. Do a cartwheel for a like and a subscribe. I mean, I can do a cartwheel, but there is not enough space in here to actually do one. To actually do one where it would look good or I could land. So, I am unfortunately, Kenneth, I will not be doing that on stream. But I do appreciate the belief very much. Toast, no. M channel 21. I don't know why you just randomly said 21. I don't know what that was. Hold on, I lost it. What? Deep. I gotta agree though, bro. If you don't hit the sweet spot on the shift, your arm gets all that vibration. Yeah. See, it it can suck, dude. It is rough with the shift if you do not know what what is going on with it. Let's see. Neha, where am I from? I'm from the U.S. I'm here in the east. I'm here on the East Coast. That's why it's about 9:30, a little after 9:30 where I'm at. But yeah, I'm out here in the U.S. Born, raised, and just having fun. If you, yeah, that's where I'm at. I do have Instagram. It is the exact same name as the name of the channel. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram and on there. But if not, that's okay. YouTube is cool. Jacob, what is the stream for? So this stream is for answering tennis gear related questions, whether it be rackets, strings, shoes, any advice you may need on what is going on with your gear, what if you're looking for something specific. I am here to help out as much as I can. And if for some reason you don't have any tennis related questions, we can just talk in the chat. We've been doing that throughout the night as well. And we can just kind of go around and go from there. Let's see. I mean, I will never. No, I would not. Let's see. My go-to racket and string setup right now. So, I do not have a just basic setup string for my racket, but the racket surprisingly that I am like playing with the most right now is actually the Solinco Blackout V2 300 gram. I did not think that that was going to be a racket that I necessarily would be playing with as much as I am, because I had just bought two Yonex Percept 100Ds like within the last 2 to 3 weeks. So I was like, dude, I just bought these, but then I was able to try the Blackout 300 and play with that, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually awesome." So I'm playing with that right now, and I'm using that to test out a bunch of different strings in it. So I can say the Blackout is the racket I'm playing with. I can't really say the string combo with it yet, just because I'm still trying to figure that one out myself. I will say I've tended to like shaped polyester in the Blackout 300. So that is what I would say has probably worked the best for me so far, and everything like that. And that I saw it because it popped up. It popped up green. It may have been delayed, but Tony, thank you so much for thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that, sir. It means a lot to me. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. That that means everything. Let's see. Now, back to answering the questions. Where was it? That's crazy how now I have to scroll up in chat because when I first started doing these streams, I would get Ernest, if you're still here, you may remember the beginning days of streams. I we would just get like one message every like 5 to 10 minutes in here, just someone asking one question, and I would be like, that's crazy. But now I have to scroll in the chat, and to me it's just insane. But it's cool. I like it. But yeah, we're the same age, but you look like a dad. Yeah, it's the beard, dude. A lot. It really is. Like when this was a lot longer and a lot bushier, I had people telling me that at the highest age I ever got guessed at, I was 19 when this happened. But I had this beard. It was down to about like it was like down to here because of how bushy it was, and it was just out there. But I was 19, and someone came in the store and they were talking with me, and they're like, "You really know your stuff." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "How old are you? And how long you been doing this?" I was like, "You really want to play this game right now?" He's like, "Sure." So he starts guessing, and the highest age he guessed, and this is the highest one I've ever gotten, was I think 41. They guessed I was 41 years old when I was 19. And I was just like, wow, this beard does a lot. So that it's crazy, dude. Let's see. Neha, are you single or married or in a relationship? Nope. I'm completely single. No relationship as of currently. Let's see. Deep. If I had to choose V-Core versus Pure versus Head Extreme, uh, Deep. That would depend. What am I trying to solve for? If I'm just comparing the spin rackets, I would. I personally would say, I'm probably going based off of the current generations of the rackets. I am probably going Pure Aero 98 because I have played with the V-Core 98, I've played with the Pure Aero 98, and I've played with the Head Extreme Pro. I've also played with them all in their 100 head sizes respectively. I would say I personally prefer the 98 in the Pure Aero out of all of them. Whereas with the V-Core, I would probably say I liked that in the 100 better than the Pure Aero and the Extreme. To me, the Extremes just are weird right now because of the extra because they transitioned a lot of the weight in the actual head of the actual head of the racket, so it feels weird swinging through with it compared to say the Pure Aero and the V Core. So that's why I would say the Extreme for me isn't the racket. The old Extreme, like the version right before the current one, that one was great. I actually bought my dad two of those because he really liked it and he really loved the Extreme line. So that's where that came from. And so with the new one, since they transferred the weight of it and they changed the balance of it, it wasn't for me. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of it, but it does still work if you want that extra whip through on the racket. It just wasn't for me. And that's why I'd probably lean more towards the Pure Aero 98 if I had to pick one. But if I'm going based off the 100 head sizes, which they normally are, then I would probably go the V Core. But that's just me for my game specifically. Neha, I appreciate that. I've never met you. I would assume I like you. I would like you. I've never actually met you though. So just no idea what that is. Zam, hello. I have no clue what in the world is talking about. I have no clue what in the world you're talking about there, dude. Blackout. This guy got all the girls and boys here sweaty for all but tennis. Definitely a win. I appreciate that, Blackout, but I don't know. I don't know about that, dude. I we're here for tennis. We'll go and that is why we're here. Igor, what's up? What's up, man? Okay, you finally got to add. You finally got to try the Prestige MPL. You've only added 10 grams so far. They had a crazy confidential and Ethercept. Didn't love the ether in it, but really recommend customizing Prestige MPL. Yeah, the Prestige is one of those rackets where you almost have to customize it. I'd say it's probably harder to play. It's probably a little bit harder to play stock with a Prestige than it is just to customize it because of how much it is, how easily available it is to customize that racket. You have a very control oriented racket that needs some help in order to actually just like push and gain some of that extra power because it's very thin. So by customizing it to have a little bit more of that extra weight in the head or just by giving it a little bit more plow through and stability, it can work out well. But it's also a tough racket to swing if you're not used to that type of racket. But I'm glad you're starting to find something that's working for you, Igor. I know that was something that you were really wanting to get as you just found this racket and you were about to start playing around and testing stuff with it. That's cool. Let's see. Tony, I got Ice Code, Element, IR Soft, Tourline. I'm using ProStep 97 V14. Element IR Soft, Tony. I did like that too. I like that. I like Element IR Soft over the normal Luxon Element just because it did offer that little bit extra pop and power for me, and it was also a little bit easier on the arm. So I liked IR Soft. I'd still say for me, Ice Code edges it out just by a little bit, but you did get a good string to compare to. And then based off whatever Toraline one you got, I don't know. I don't think we talked about which Toraline string you got, but that one may be working good too. I just don't know which one you got in order to actually tell you. Uh Property dealers. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Are you good? Tony, you'll be here every Sunday. Okay. I'm trying to figure out like best days to do streams like this or anything. Sunday has seemed to always work well, at least for me, but I'm not opposed to doing whether it be more streams throughout the week or just like different days if it works for more people, but this has always seemed to be like a good Sunday night has always seemed to be like a good crowd mix to where we get a bunch of different people that have a bunch of different questions. So if there's any suggestions on days that you all may think would work best or work better to do a stream like this, let me know. I'm all ears. Bows, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking I don't know what you're talking about. That is that is just a random flag. That's not even my flag. That's just what someone else put up in my house in the house that I live at. That is not I don't even like that sports team that it's about. I never really cared for them. Shout out to Tony. Madison, hello. I saw that you said hi. World before, world after. Thank you for the information. Hey, yeah, the world stays exactly the same for most things. So it's like I'm just here helping out if I can. If I can't, I would hope I could, but sometimes you just can't. It does happen. Ah, why did my chat do that? Flu, please play Riot. I have never heard that. I've never heard that song, so plus this that would probably get copyrighted and I don't want this stream to get taken down. So, unfortunately, cannot play it. I've also never heard the song before, so I got no idea what's going on with it. Deep, Solinko and Tourline deserve more love. I'd say Solinko's up there as one of the like more known string brands, dude. With Hyper G being pretty much everywhere except for almost on like the Pro Tour, it's I'd say it's like one of the most recognized strings. Like they may not know the name of Hyper G, but they know of Hyper G because almost every single high schooler I've ever worked with that has played tennis for more than like a year or two has asked for the bright green string that's in their friends' rackets, and it's Hyper G. And I'm just like, why? You may not need that, but if you want to try it, you could. But yeah, Solinko, definitely a big name, I'd say, with strings. Tourline, they're getting up there, especially with more and more people starting to use them, especially with the popularity of Carousel and just how many different colors that they have, that they're really doing a lot to push into the market, and I think they're doing a great job in terms of getting themselves out there. It's working really well for them. I actually bought a pack of Tourline strings for the first time recently, and I'll be trying it here at some point. I don't know when yet, but I have them on standby ready to go and try just because I wanted to try Tourline myself. Lana, Tourline. I'm more of a blue jeans guy though. I am wearing blue jeans, but and I do prefer jeans. Like jeans are awesome. Like I have played tennis in these jeans before. And all of my friends, every time they see me do it, they ask why and how. And I'm just like, "Hey, I got good jeans." Pun intended. The very first time I said it, it wasn't, but now it is. But now I have played tennis many a times in jeans, especially if I did it right after work. And I'm completely cool with doing it. As long as I have the proper shoes, I really don't care. Let's see. Deep. If only Yonex went on sale more often. Also thoughts on the Regna, or will the Percept basically give you what the Regna will? So Deep, I've never played with the Regna. I've only seen it, and I think I've strung one, but I've only strung it and seen it. I've never actually gotten to play with the Regna. From what I've heard, it's a combination of the E Zone and the V Core. So I wouldn't say the Percept is going to give you what the Regna will. It's more of a if it is a combination of the E Zone and the V Core, it is more of a power spin racket, and then it's going to use the smaller head size being 98 to help give you the control. So I can't speak fully to it just because I've never gotten to use it. I would love to get to use it. I think that'd be pretty cool. I've only seen like the two ever in my life, and the one time I saw it, I took a picture of it because I was like, I want to remember this thing. But yeah, I would love to try it. Let's see. Laney, Ride by Lana Del Rey sends me back to good times. Y'all are really into Lana Del Rey. Would not have thought. Uh, Jeremiah or Jeremias. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I truly am. What's up, bro? Is in Spanish? Okay. I I'm assuming you're saying that you speak Spanish and that's your main language, and then you're just kind of watching me. So if that is the case, thank you for watching me. I appreciate it. Yeah, M50 is not 50. 40 is insane. It was. I was a little taken aback, and then I told the guy I was 19, and he just like looked shocked out of his mind. It was crazy. Tony, looks matter, and I hate the look of my Pro Staff V14. I used to love the Pro Staffs. I kind of like Tech Fiber. What racket will give me more power and control? I have some power, but I'm 53 and getting tired. Let's see. So, Tony, the Tectafibers, the the Technofiber T fights, they would give you a little bit more power than the Pro Staffs, especially if you're trying to just stay within control rackets and get a little bit more power. They would work. If you've tried the Wilson Blade, those would also be a little bit more powerful and a little bit more forgiving. The Blade will do a little bit more of the work for you. And then honestly, for another one, I would probably look at something like either the Babolat Pure Strike 98 16x19 or the Babolat Pure Strike 100 16x19, and then the Slinko Whiteout V2 98 16x19. Usually, if you stay within control rackets because you're already using a Pro Staff, and I think you're using the 97 if I remember correctly. If you're using the 97, then going up by the 1 square inch in head size, it may not seem like a lot, but those rackets are typically going to be doing a little bit more for you in terms of the actual work of generating the power and generating the spin. Whereas the Pro Staff, you have to be very precise, you have to be very accurate, and it's a lot harder for that racket to do more of the work for you because it's requiring a lot more of you. It's requiring a lot more of the player that's holding it. So if you want the racket to help you a little bit more, Tony, I would probably look towards either Blade, just because it's still from Wilson, Babolat Pure Strike, Slinko Whiteout 98 16x19, or the Technofiber T fights if you want, since you said you like Technofiber. But I would definitely demo those just to start with. But, Tony, I think you need to figure your string out first before you start trying to switch rackets and everything. If you, like I told you last time, if you try and do too many things all at once, you're just going to get confused. You won't know what's going on, and you just will have no idea what you're doing. So figure your strings out with your Pro Staffs first. See what works for you there, and then kind of start moving into rackets, because that will give you a much easier time to know whether or not the rackets will work, because you can then just very easily slot your string in and just go from there. Blade, I used to like Battle and got deals in them, but no deals anymore. But they were good. I need some help with power, but still need control. Okay, yeah. Uh, Cotton, have I tried the upcoming Pure Aero 98? How do they improve perfection? So I will say I have not tried the upcoming Pure Aero 98. So I am also very curious as to how they're going to improve the racket, because they already have such a big like cult following for that thing right now. I mean, Cotton, you even said it's perfection. So you can see to the level that people love this racket. So I'm very curious to see how it plays and what it's going to do. I have two friends of mine that I know, they both played the Pure Air 98, and they're a little hesitant about it, but they're semi excited to try it. Let's see. Ernest. He does remember the days. He does remember. Ernest has been one of the ones that's been here almost since the beginning, and I very much appreciate that, you for being here with me, Ernest. But he remembers those days. What are my thoughts or opinions on ball machines? I'm thinking of getting one down the road. Do I think it's a good investment? For me, it's hard to find something to hit with, and lessons tend to get expensive. Ball machines ball machines are an interesting thing. I personally don't really use a ball machine all that much. Now, granted, I don't own one. I do belong to a tennis club that does have one. I've never actually used it there. I think they can be a good training tool in terms of like working on form and everything, because there was, oh, I don't remember her name, but there was a professional WTA player that during the lockdowns of 2020 and everything, all she did was practice on a ball machine for hours, making sure that she had the correct contact point on all of her strokes, that she was getting her footwork down, and that way she was just like working and weaving through a bunch of different drills. And when she was able to get back to playing on the pro tour, she actually played out of her mind and won the next tournament she entered, and maybe I think another few after that, just because she had used the ball machine for so long and she had just been practicing. So I definitely think the ball machines are worth it to a point. The only thing about them is the fact that you're not really playing against a live ball, because when someone else is actually hitting the ball with their racket and their string, that's a lot more unpredictable. So you have to be able to do that adjustment on the fly. If you're just trying to work on technique and making sure you're in the correct position, Ernest, I think a ball machine could do you well. But if you're just wanting, if what you may be trying to make up for with the ball machine is just experience playing against different types of shots, then I think it's more so at that point just getting the experience in match play, because I'm kind of in the same boat where I don't play a lot of matches. So when I do play matches at all, it is a little bit harder for me and it takes me a little bit longer to adjust to my opponent in order to actually make that. Like, my technique is pretty much the same and is pretty consistent, but because I don't have that match experience like fresh with me, I'm just either a little bit too slow on my return or I'm a little bit too fast. I'm just out of position by a small margin just because the ball is coming at me a lot faster or a lot slower than I expect. And that's where I think just playing more matches would be the answer over a ball machine. But the ball machine definitely does still have its actual uses. So if you're wanting to focus on technique and everything, and that's your main goal, I think ball machine would be fine. If you're wanting to mainly just focus on the experience of playing against a live ball and just kind of like working on your absolute, um, just like reactions to everything, then I think you may want to lean more towards just match play and experience, Ernest. Sorry, not Irwin. I don't know why I said that. Let's see. Deep. Interesting that the head size changed your preference. I'm curious, how does the Wilson shift feel to you compared to other spin rackets? Is it the stiffness on flatter hits mostly? That deep, I'd say that was probably the biggest notice or in change I felt compared to other spin rackets. So it was just a weird feeling. Like, my dad really liked the shift when he played with it. To me it wasn't something that stood out as the extreme best for my specific game, because I do tend to have a little bit more of that Eastern forehand to where almost all of my shots are flat and I'm just kind of like driving the ball through the court whereas I'm not using as much top spin. So that was just me though. If your main goal is to put spin onto the ball, then the shift can do very well. But the head size wise, it for me it does change things, just because by having the smaller head size, the strings don't move as much, so you are a little bit more limited in the actual spin you can get. But with the Pure Aero 98 being a Babolat racket, it's also a little bit stiffer, so it's already going to give you a little bit more of the power compared to, say, like the VCore 98, not as stiff, so it's a little bit more easier on the arm, but it's not nearly as powerful. So that's where you kind of have to find the balance and demo what works best for you, just to see what you think. Let's see. IRL, what is the flag behind you? Is it Poland? No, it is not Poland. It is the Cincinnati Reds. It is a baseball team. And again, I don't watch baseball. I also really don't watch football. That's just a flag that's up in this house because someone else in this house really likes baseball. But yeah, that's the flag. Let's see. Tony is a former 5.0 player. Good 4.5 now. I have some power, but man, some strings are dead hard for me to use. Weight too, but I generally like weight. Okay. Yeah. I got you, Tony. Ira, what is the flag? I need to know, or I'll explain, please. But no, I got you. I got you, IRL. You saw what it was. M channel. I look like a Christian conservative active church member who's also a scouting teacher and brings food to elderly people, not like a tennis player. Dude, it is just I think it is just this. Like this pullover is what's giving you that vibe, M. And I think that's it. Cause like without that, I would say I look just like a normal dude, but this just gives like a different vibe entirely. And I just haven't taken it off because where I'm at, it's starting to get cold, so I would rather be warm right now. Tony, your favorite players of all time are Ivan Lendl at number one, and then Pete Sampras number two. That's respectable. Pistol Pete, what the highlight reels of him, insane. Ivan, I've seen some of his work too, and it's just, dude, that is pretty crazy. Let's see. Igor, impossible to play stock, too thin and soft, but just a bit of lead in the handle and 12 o'clock. Such a unique but functional, right? Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense, Igor. Let me know when you as you keep trying it what you think. I'm curious to find what you think is the best setup with it in terms of customizing. Tony got some black code and the new blue one, some Hyper G round and soft. Okay, wait, Tony, what new blue one? Tell me what new blue one you're talking about, Tony. Uh ah, chat. Why you do that? Ernest. By the way, what Tourline strings have I tried? So the Tourline strings that I've tried, one of them was for it was I think it was called Toro Toro. It was the pink one. I tried that I think in a hybrid and a full set once. I didn't have it in there very long, but I think I tried that. I don't remember too much about it. Um I have hit with Otoro in the green color because one of my friends he uses a hybrid of Otoro and Polytour Pro in his racket, but he has the Polytour Pro in the mains and the Otoro in the crosses. So I've hit with Otoro in a full bed when he first got it for a little bit. So I tried it then, and then I also tried I think it was Toro, and then whatever the blue one is, like the light blue one. I think I tried that. If you look on my channel at the video I did reviewing the Wilson Pro Staff 97, the strings in there are Tourline strings because that specific Pro Staff, the same friend who uses Otoro and Polytour Pro, he had put those Tourline strings in that Pro Staff because that was his original setup, and he was trying that racket with his setup to see if he liked it. So those are really the only Tourline strings that I've used, and that's why I don't talk about Tourline as much in terms of playability, just because I haven't played with them enough to give a very good explanation or give a very good example of when to go to something like that. Let's see. Tony, I'm going looser on polys. I'm 50 pounds or less now. Yeah, that's usually what we're seeing a lot of people are moving towards. Just lower tensions in general, Tony. Let's see. Emerson Emerson maybe said hi. Hello. I'm going all the way from Brazil. That's incredible. That's amazing. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Tony, I like the color of the blade. Ballots I used to like. Yeah. Yeah, the dark green of the blade, it looks nice. I'm very curious as to what the new blade would look like. Uh I don't know where they're going to go from there, but we shall C. Cotton. Sooner or later, I need mods in the live stream. These randoms are getting out of hand. Yeah, we'll figure it out somehow, some way. Let's see. Queen, cool glasses. Thank you. I appreciate that. These were recommended to me by a friend, and they have worked very well, being blue light blocking glasses. So I do very much enjoy these. Let's see. Jaden, I kind of answered the question. The of these being blue light glasses, I don't really know what that word is. You said before glass when you typed glasses, bro. What? Hold on. Why does it keep doing that? And oh, you got the exact same jacket. That's pretty cool. Like I just got this today because like I said this earlier, but you may not have seen it, but this was the jacket that all of the dudes wore when we went to get family photos taken today. So I just haven't taken it off yet. But that's cool that we got the same jacket. C dot, I answered this earlier, but I am 24 years old. Yeah, Ernest, you're welcome, Ernest. Glad to help on the ball machine. Tony, sorry I'm rambling. I'm at work and just coming back and forth to chat. I work for an airline, waiting for the plane to come. Dude, you work for an airline? That's sick, Tony. Where do you work on, like loading or unloading, or are you just like what you say you're waiting for the plane, so like what do you do when the plane arrives? But that's sick you work at the airport. Tony, yeah, Mach 10 would work too in terms of like you getting a little bit more of the power and still having it be a little bit easier on your arm, Tony. And then you get a little bit of spin, but it's not going to focus on spin. So Mach 10 would work too. I just went with I just told you about ice code the very first time just because the round polyesters to me do tend to be the more powerful. Whereas Mach 10, because it technically does have sides to it, it's going to have a little bit less power than those. But Mach 10 would be one to try. But you have enough string to try already. You've been saying you got Ice Code, you got Toraline, you got others that I'm forgetting right now. You got Black Code, you got plenty of strings to try right now. Nick, the shades look cool. Thank you. And hope it's not Spirit. Nah, Sarah, the glasses are sweet. Thank you. You kind of liked Hyper G round with Hyper G regular. Yeah, that's that's actually a pre-packaged hybrid that Slinko makes now. They found that it was working well for people, so they already made it pre-made. So it's an interesting combo. I've actually given it to one other person uh that I was working with, and he wanted a string recommendation. He had used normal Hyper G before, but he wanted to be a little bit softer for him. So he tried that and he liked it. So Hyper G round and Hyper G regular, excuse me, it can work. Let's see. Sarah, what's a Toraline string? I'm new here. I need some more info, please. So yeah. So Sarah, Toraline is just another brand of strings. They are predominantly a lot more popular just because they're starting to get a more and more of a bigger Instagram following and just like social media following in general. But they're just another tennis brand that makes tennis string. So it's just another one to try for people to try and see what they think about it. But yeah, it's just more tennis string. It's fun. Let's see. M in Ecru pullover is better than a gray one. Light blue, army green. Lila or bright pink would look good too. Hmm. Maybe. I don't know. Tony Tony, you're killing me with that. He's our tennis guru, and we all gather here so he can enlighten us. That's crazy, Tony. All things tennis. I do it all. I do check-in. I work the gate. I work on ramp with the plane. I do cargo. I push the plane back when departing. De-ice winter. All of it. Tony, you're the one. You're the guru. If I'm the guru of tennis, you're the guru of planes, dude. That's awesome. Haha, I know I heard what you advised about string. I'll chill out. I'm just saying I bought all of those. Haven't tried all. Plane just took off from Dallas. I have 40 minutes before I have to work. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Then I wish I could play tennis, but I'm afraid the ball hits me and I die. You won't die. What are you talking about, Em? You can play. I've been hit by way too many tennis balls in my life. And while it's not fun, sometimes it's funny. Like, I have had times where it's happened to where I got hit by a ball and I just started laughing because of how stupid it was. But you would be fine. You're not going to get extremely hurt or anything. Tony's casually pushing a plane like light work. Exactly. Tony's just this. Tony's just the most ripped, buff guy we've ever seen, and all of a sudden, plane just comes in. They're like, "We need help getting off the ground." Tony's like, "I got this." He gets up to the. He goes to the plane. He goes behind one of the wheels. He just pushes, and the entire plane just takes off. It has the entire escape velocity needed to just start going up into the air. And he's like, "Another job well done by Tony, by me." uh, maybe I do not know who that is. I don't have a nice tennis memory. In high school, people would just saw each other with the racket. And that's high school. Don't let high school be your experience that defines everything for you. That's no none of those kids probably were actually like doing were actually like taking it seriously or actually trying to play the game for fun. They were just mad that they had to play tennis in gym. But yeah, but no, it, have fun with it. I think you'd enjoy it, and you gotta try. I mean, you're already here. You're quite literally watching me or listening to me talk about tennis gear, and you're here at I don't know what time it is for you, but you're here on a live stream watching some random stranger on the internet talk about tennis gear and asking and questions about it, but you say you don't play. I think we need to get you playing, Em. I think you'll enjoy it. Wait a minute. Hold on. What? Oh, that's one. Okay. I actually have my tennis bag right next to me, so my hands were getting bored from spinning my glasses, so I just wanted to grab a racket out. Actually, I'm gonna grab this one out because classic Pro Staff RF97. It's fun. It's heavy. I just keep it in my bag. Is like if I really just want to mess around with something, but this is fun. Let's see. Yeah, I think you'll change your mind, Em. You'll come around. Ernest, yes, bro has a worth of knowledge when it comes to tennis with rackets and gears. I am a certified master racket technician. Yes, that is correct. I do have my certification here. I think the last time I checked, I was like one of 506. It's either 560 or 650 master racket technicians in the world. Was lucky enough to join that club by taking my test and passing. So I think it's safe to say I know at least a little bit about what I'm talking about. All right. Let's see. I'll use recorder and put a video up on here sometime. Very cool industries. Free flights all over the world. I recommend go with higher paying co though. All right. Dude, you got free flight. Tony, if you get free flights, where's the coolest place you've ever flown to? Like where have you gone? You're just like, this is a great reason for me to stay at this job. It is 4 a.m. where you are. Hold on. Pause. 2 4. You're 6 hour. If that's true, you're 6 hours ahead of me. Why are you up? Like what were you doing that you were up and you saw this and you're like, I'm gonna watch this? Because I've been doing this for almost an hour and a half now. Why are you still awake? Why are you not asleep? What's happening? Is something going on? Tony, anyway, ice code first, brother. The others will wait. I like the color of that IR string though. Yes, the color is cool, but good. Let's see. Wow, cool. You're certified. Very cool. I would like to do that. I'm certified instructor, but not stringer. Okay, nice. M channel. Oop, almost hit that. That wasn't good. M channel. You think you have insomnia? That's not good. That's not good. Hopefully you don't. Let's see. Tony, let's see. Paris for a month, Mexico, Geneva, all over the US, Canada, Hawaii. I know that's US, all free. Planning next trip, go to pro tournaments. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy, Tony. I hope the work that you have to do is worth all the trips. It sounds fun. It sounds fun getting to go on the trips. I don't know about how the work actually would be to do that or anything. But it's cool you get to go. It's cool you get to go to all these places and the fact that you went to Paris for a month. That's insane. Leon, maybe they got a night shift. I'd rather check into a mental asylum than work a night shift. That's insane, bro. Night shift. I will say I have never worked a night shift. I almost had to when I was going to go work at one job if they had hired me, but it's night shift seems crazy to me. I've had friends that have done it. They're just like, dude, it's the weirdest thing ever. I was just like, man, I don't know if I'd be able to. Let's see, Tony, French Open, the U.S. Open, Miami last year at Key Biscayne, San Jose, Memphis last year. They had it. Dallas Open, Indian Wells. Dude, that's sick. And you love the work. That's even better. You love it. You've been teaching tennis for years though, which is that's crazy. You don't want to. I don't want to get up at 3 a.m. anymore, so I like working late. I'll get off at midnight or 1. Dude, I wouldn't want to wake up at 3 a.m. either. That sounds awful. Like I don't even like waking up at 7 or 8. My body gets me up, but I don't even like that. because I'm just like, dude, I would prefer to probably be like awake during the night. That's just me. I would say I'm arguably more of a night owl than I am a morning person. But it works out. It works out. Ow. Something's going on with my throat. My local tennis club is for snobby people who charge 13 for grilled cheese because they feel better. Dude. $13 for a grilled cheese at a tennis club? I don't even know. I don't even know if I would trust tennis club grilled cheese. That doesn't that doesn't sound like it goes together. That's not that sounds like it would be harsh and not as fun to do. Not as fun to do. Let's see. Tony, I got 3 days off each week and I teach tennis on the days off. Blessed. Nice. So you work every day if I want, but not all day every day. Okay. Yeah. Especially if you have a flexible schedule with it too, and like Tony, I would assume because you have the ability to have that schedule, you're probably also one of the people that they trust that knows what they're doing and they know how good of a job you are able to do, so that way you can be like, I want to work on these days, on these hours, and they would be very willing to give that to you. And if that is the case, highly commendable. Amazing you're able to do that. And that's pretty cool, dude. Let's see. Josh, no clue what you're talking about. Never did plumbing in my life. Tony, I taught at a country club for 10 years. Good money, but some snobby people and some good people. Yeah, you'll have that. You'll have good and bad with with anything. Uh, yeah, seniority based. I'm number two, so I get good schedule. Nice, nice, Tony. And they literally give dirty looks when you walk past the tennis clubs. Huge Karens. That's not. That's not cool. We can't be having nobody that's trying to stop people from having a good time playing tennis. That's not cool. Everyone gets to enjoy tennis. Uh, Frost. What's that racket called? So the racket in my hands. This is the Pro Wilson RF 97 Pro Staff. This is version 11, and they don't make this racket anymore. This was essentially replaced by the Wilson RF 01 Pro, but I just have this one from many years when I got a very good deal and discount. Well, mainly just I got a very good deal on this racket. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this one. So we've had this also is just like a way to have it. So it works. I've played with it. I've actually only ever strung this once, and I've never restrung it since because of that. There's still the original multi-filament string I put in here. It plays terribly, but I'm almost never actually playing with this racket, so it it's fine for me. But yeah, I think it's fun to just mess around with just because of how heavy it is. This is 12 ounces unstrung, so about 12.6 ounces strung. Or if you're using grams, it's 340 grams unstrung. So then about 355 to 358 grams with string inside of it. So it's a behemoth of a racket to play with, but it's fun for when you are feeling extremely on your game. and it looks sick. All black. I just wish it was more glossy. But besides that, it's pretty cool. Let's see, Tony, don't like snobs. The richest people I knew were very kind. Very nice. Tony, good night. I have to go outside and meet a big jet. Then I'm going to unload and clean and search it. I'm going to bed. See you next Sunday. We'll see you, Tony. Thank you for being here. And again, Tony, thank you so much for the super chat earlier. It means a lot to me. And I hope and I can't wait to see you and talk to you again next Sunday. Let's see, what is it? Thoughts on Padel. It looks awesome. It looks sick. Like, I've seen some of the highlight videos. I've never actually got to play Padel, but it looks sick. I think it would be really cool to play. I think it would be really fun, especially having to figure out how to play off the walls like racquetball. I would love to play it. It just looks awesome. Never played it though. Really looks awesome though. Let's see. Frost. I look up badminton, but it never shows them rackets up. Are the rackets I use so it's not a badminton racket? What? Hold on. What? Oh, hold on, Frost. I'm trying to read your comment and understand it real quick. You look up for badminton, but it never shows the badminton rackets. The rackets I use is not a badminton one. Maybe. Your school has them. Has style rackets. We use it for badminton. I can juggle it and I don't know. I don't know, dude. I've never played badminton in terms of like semi seriously. I think the only time I ever played badminton was in like a friend's backyard because they bought a random badminton set and they just bought it out of the box with the net. So I don't know almost anything about it. So yeah, I can't say too much there. Let's see. Josh, no, I don't. Let's see. VNTR23. Hello, how are you? How many tennis rackets do I have? That is a great question. It is over 25 or 30. It is over that number. I could not give you an exact estimate because I don't remember. I also have I also sometimes count the rackets that my dad has in his bag too, just because him and I will share rackets, especially if we go out and play tennis every so often. So we'll at least 25 to 30. Well, I'll just say that because I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. Padel is more popular here than tennis. Where are you at, Em? Yeah, Em, where do you live? I don't because I know Padel is a lot more popular in Europe and everything. And it's starting to make its way over here to the US. So I'd be curious. Alexander, dude, what's up? I have not I have not seen you for quite a while. You were one of the very first people to ever actually start commenting on my videos when I started making them about a year and a half to almost 2 years ago. So I'm excited to see you here in the chat. It's cool. It's cool to see it. I know. I remember. Right. You're using the You're using the Yonex Percept. I think it's the 97D is the one you're using. But yeah, dude, what's up? It's so cool seeing you here. Well, let's see. What do we got? What up, bro? What do we think about your kid quitting beginning of the match after getting hit with 2 winners and his twin brother name calling him in doubles? It was too much for him. Um, I think it would just depend on like how old he is, because like if he's young, if he's like really young, depending on like how just actual how much the yeah, I think it just depends on his age. I don't necessarily like the fact that he decided to just quit after at the very beginning of the match. Okay, he just turned 11. Yeah. I don't necessarily like the fact that he quit at the very beginning of the match. I just because it's like you agree. I'm assuming he agreed to play the match, or he wanted to play the match, and then when he actually got there, he I guess just didn't want to anymore after he started playing. But it's just like I would say like, no, dude, you were all excited about this. You were ready to play the match. You got to finish. You can't just quit. Hopefully hopefully he made it to the end of the match, but it sounds like he may not have. And I hope that one bad experience doesn't make him want to quit the sport. That's not fun. That's not cool. But we shall we shall see. I uh Alexander, I think it's so cool that I think it's so cool that you're here. Guess the country. I can That's gonna be hard for me to do, M, because these glasses change the color of, well, change some of the colors, so I'm going to assume that the flag is red, white, and blue. I'm going to assume French. That is my guess. France. England. I don't know. I don't know. Geography was never a big strong suit of mine. Alexander, he's from San Diego, California. I like it. Okay. The Netherlands. Cool. Very cool. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see. Dakota, hello. You got your shout out. Don't think I didn't see your I didn't see your comments. Your comment. Let's see. Cotton, same here in Indonesia. Padel is growing exponentially here. It's like the new cool influencer sport. Pickle is more like side piece on some tennis court. That's crazy. Pickleball being the side piece. Yeah. How big is pickleball outside, for those of you that are outside the US? How big is pickleball where you're at? Now, I know Cotton, you're saying in Indonesia pickleball is kind of the side piece, but I'm very curious. I'm very curious how big pickleball is outside of the US, because here in the US it's still quite popular. So I would be interested to see how that is different outside of here. Marcos coming in from Brazil, nice. The only reason I know that is because I saw the flag earlier, I think, and I think that's Brazil. I hope I'm right. If not, I'm gonna look real stupid just there. But M channel, teach kid that losing is okay. Let's see. And no, this is France. I'm from the Netherlands. Cool. So Cotton, social media influencer, no longer celebrate their birthday on clubs at clubs, partying with champagne. The hip thing to do is book an entire padel club and celebrate their birthday on that. That's crazy, dude. They just rent out an entire club for their birthday. That's insane. Because Padel is at least like $100 an hour for one court that I have heard of, and that's the only like hourly booking I've heard, and to me that's insane. It's so different. Alexander, thanks. They got to know his experience. They could have gained knowledge. Exactly, Alexander. Losing is a part of the game, and you honestly learn and you get better from losing more than you do winning, because losing shows you where you can improve, and then as you improve on that, you just become a better player, and then you play the same person that beat you, and because you've worked on what they were taking advantage of before, you've worked on it, you play again, and then you win. Maybe you lose and you find something new to work on, but if you win, you've grown as a tennis player, and then you can continue to keep growing and always get better, because we can all always get better at tennis. You can look at Yannick Sinner as an example. He realized that from playing against Carlos, he was being too predictable. Carlos could figure out where he's going to hit the ball. He figured out how to get there, and there was not as much variation in his shot, in Yannick Sinner's shots. So now he's working on his variation in terms of just using more drop shots, changing up pace, and it's working for him. I think he won a tournament recently, and I think he just reclaimed the number one spot on the ATP rankings. So that's one of the biggest things of getting it through to your kid, Alexander, is just that losing is a part of the game, and it sucks. Like, I hate losing too, but it shows you so much more. And when you can actually be like, oh, okay, this is why I lost, let me go work on that, it is not only a skill that transfers to tennis, but it's also but it also just transfers outside into everyday life as well. And yes, Cotton Padel is definitely a TikTok/Instagram sport. M channel, what is pickleball? I thought you were talking about pickles as in food. No, M. Pickleball is a sport all in itself. It grew in massive popularity from 2020 from like 2019 to 2020 to 2021. It had a big spike in play, but it's kind of like it's um it's a smaller version of tennis with more ping pong attributes. So like a pickleball court fits within a tennis court. And if you really try and you really put the lines down in the official marks, one tennis court can be transformed into two pickleball courts. But it's played with paddles instead of rackets, and it's played with a wiffle ball, essentially, instead of a tennis ball. And then you can play singles, you can play doubles. You are basically playing on the exact same surface as a tennis court in terms of a hard court tennis court, and you just play more and more. There's a whole rating system. There's a whole professional league for it, and I would say it's depending on the level, it is typically a more easy on the body and more player friendly experience than tennis, just because it's a lot more social. But tennis, I'd say, still tends to be the more athletic sport, just because you have much longer court area to cover, just as you know from playing, well, as you know from watching and seeing tennis. But yes, pickleball is a thing. I would say to look it up, but you might get annoyed by the sound of the ball smacking the paddle, but we'll see. Alex, the dinking and the dunking, I be playing with seniors, even though I'm from a Mexican American Southern Cali tennis team, I'll get to so. Oh no. Don't do that. What, $100? That's insane. It's $25 converted over there. Yeah, dude. It's crazy over here trying to find Padel for cheap. You really can't because there's not anything like close or near. At least where I'm at. Alexander, are you ending up getting hurt bending over to get it instead of shuffling? He's talking about pickleball, but yeah. It's it's an interesting sport. I was actually working an event for pickleball on Saturday for my work, and I have played it quite a few times, and the guy I was working with, he actually is one of the he actually is a professional on the pro tour. So it was cool to do the event, but yeah. Let's see. I am probably going to butcher this name completely, and I'm sorry for when I do. But Sarah, where am I from? I'm from the U.S. I am here on the East Coast. So yeah, that is where I am from, sir, or ma'am. I don't know because I can't see your profile picture. Where are you from? Let's see. I'm gonna do the laundry. See if I'll fall asleep. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. Of course, Em. Hopefully, you are able to get some sleep. I hope you are able to do that. That would probably feel great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for talking as much as you have. I greatly appreciate getting to chat with you. And yeah, hope you have a good like sleep because like you said, it was 4 in the morning last time we checked with you. All right, Hurisman. Again, I probably butchered it, but hello from Russia. Hello from the U.S. That's so cool. We got Rush. We've had Russia, the Netherlands. We've had Indonesia. We got India with Sara now. That's so cool. We had a guy named Tony earlier from I think he's in Texas. Hurisman, I appreciate the subscription. Means a lot to me. But yeah, man, this is always cool. Now, ugh, man, I, it's crazy how it's almost been 2 hours since I from when I started doing this. Time just flies, man. Alex, you had a great Dia de los Muertos tennis event open to the community. It was awesome after the loss early in the day. That's cool, dude. I'm glad they had a cool event. And like you said, it was probably a very nice way to just kind of like relax from the day, get over the loss, and just have a good time, and still enjoy some tennis. Always a great time. All right, cool. So with that being said, we got about 3 people watching right now, or at least 3 people are here. Is what 2 people are here is what the analytics are telling me. One of them I think is the computer that I'm just having on my lap right now. So if you're the one last person that's here with me, I appreciate you being here with me. It's great. It's amazing. However, I am probably going to end the stream here within like the next minute or two, just because I do need to get ready to go to bed because I do have to work in the morning. So I'd say, Cotton, it's you. That's hilarious. So Cotton, I'm probably gonna head out here. I'm probably gonna head out here in like the next minute or two. If you got if you got any other questions, you might as well ask now before I go for the night, and then we have to wait till next time to come back. All right. Bye and good night, sir. Cotton, what is your actual name? Because I feel like there's no way it's actually Cotton, and I don't want to keep calling you by that if it's not your name, dude. Hopefully he's still here and actually can answer the question. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, yeah. William. Cool. I will do my best at remembering that. William. William Cotton. Cotton William. Cool. I'll do my best to remember that. William. All right. But no, with that being said, I'm probably going to end it here. If anyone has any other questions, or if you think of any, definitely write them down. Keep them in your head for the next time we do another one of these streams, and I will be happy to answer it on the next one. So, that being said, I hope you all have a great night or great day, depending on where you are in the world. And, as always, take care.